maybe you could mention another example of like how when we do market research in an ongoing way, for another brand that we work with, and how it even changes our perception of what customers think and how we adapt our marketing content and materials around that.
I mean, one of our clients in healthcare, I don't know is that who you're referring to?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Initially, what we were trying to understand was, are our assumptions about why people choose a doctor true? Mm-hmm. Right. So it's like they've been in business for a long time, but it's like, let's just make sure before we expand into all these new markets that our assumptions are true. Like most metropolitan areas, it's not a homogeneous market. Like Atlanta is made up of a lot of different communities, and they have different personalities, different demographics. And so we need to do a bunch of research to try to figure out what the main value proposition was going to be. Mm-hmm. And initially we landed on quality because everybody needs a quality doctor, right? You want someone that knows what they're doing. It's kind of important. But in our focus group studies, we started to dig a little bit deeper. And one of the really interesting insights that kind of drove a lot of their market positioning was we asked people what their top 5, I think, the most important things about a doctor, and quality was always ranked high. Mm-hmm. So if we had just done a survey or taken that at face value, we would have just been like, okay, well then we need really high credentialed doctors. We need to prove really good outcomes for their primary care. But when we started asking them, what do you mean by quality? The answers were like, oh, a doctor that listens to me, and someone that cares about me, and someone that spends enough time with me when I go into the appointments. And we're like, technically not quality. And so we started realizing like they're describing a patient experience as being the most important thing. And so we kind of shifted the messaging a little bit and kind of bet the brand, so to speak, on the idea of creating this different patient experience. So it's almost like taking the Chick-fil-A and the Lexus, and we use all these other brands to be like, imagine we took all of these concepts and introduce them into healthcare. Mm-hmm. And even in hospitality and food service, it's like a high-end restaurant has a host. Yeah. So that's a great experience. You walk in, normally you walk into a primary care doctor and you just don't know what to do. There's people at the front desk and it's like, I guess I sit down. Do I walk up to there? So they've got a host that kind of greets you. And so all of these new things that impacted, to your point, the business, not just the marketing, came out of some of that. Yep. On an ongoing basis, every time they go in a new market, like we've realized there's a market in the northeast corridor of Atlanta where culturally it's much different. There's like pockets of a lot of Asian families and different like demographics and cultures in there, and they're at a much higher concentration. And we found that they respond differently, unsurprisingly, to the messages that resonate with the other markets don't necessarily resonate with them, right? Mm-hmm. They have differences in like there's a lot more multi-generational households that are really, really high income up there. So we're realizing we need to take the value proposition and adjust it a little bit. And so we're doing ongoing research to do that through focus groups and surveys and stuff like that. Yeah. So do it initially, and then on an ongoing basis, make sure that you're maintaining the pulse, especially as you're growing.